In our third example here, the only information that we're going to be given is that a line passes through two given points. Now, what we need to look out for immediately is, are these given points intercepts? Is either one of them the y-intercept? Is either one of them the x-intercept? Or are they just two random points given to us? Now, if they give us intercepts, that gives us a little bit more leeway as into what approach we could take. But in this particular example, you can see that the two given points are just two random points that are on the line, neither one of them being intercepts. So what we're eventually going to do is we're going to go back and use that point slope form where we have the slope and 1 point to fill in the equation of the line. Before we get to that, however, we have to draw back on prior experience on finding slope. And so since I've been given 2 points, I'm going to go back and use the slope formula that we learned in a previous lesson to find the slope. And you can see here in example 3 that after I finish doing that, I get a slope equal to 1. Now, whenever we choose to plug into the point slope form, what you're going to notice here is that there's really only room for one given point. And so you can see right here we have a y1 and an x1. And of course, we have the slope. So I have 2 points and I only have place for 1 point. What you're going to notice is that you can use either of the 2 points. And if you wanted to experiment with this, you could try to write the equation with either point and see if they come out to be the same. And they absolutely should come out to be the same every single time. So now, in this particular case, we chose the -2, -1, and I did that intentionally in this example so that you could see what happens whenever we plug in a negative number into the point slope form. And what you're going to see is we're going to have y minus a -1. And notice how I use parentheses to hold that -1. And then in the other side of it, we have the slope of 1 times x minus a -2. And again, I've used a -2 with parentheses. And then, of course, negative of a negative is just a positive, and I can just rewrite this as y plus 1 equals x plus 2. Subtract 1 from both sides, and then we have a nice simple equation in slope-intercept form. So this is not too much more difficult than what we've done previously. It just adds another step, and that step is to find the slope before we plug it into the point slope form. So let's take a look at an example. Sample problem number 3. Just go ahead and pause the video and work that particular problem on your own. Okay, so first things first, I recognize that I'm not dealing with an intercept anywhere. So I'm going to have to find the slope first. So I'm going to go ahead and fill in the slope equation. So I'm going to do y minus another y, and then x minus my other x. And I have to keep it in the correct order from points. So it's going to give me -5 on top. And that's 3 plus 1. So that's going to give me 4. And so that's going to give me a slope of -5/4. Now I'm going to use the point slope form to plug in to write the equation of my line. Now it does not matter which particular point that I use. Just so happens that I'm going to pick this first point, and for no particular reason, to be honest with you. If you do, however, have 2 points and one of them looks like it has smaller or easier numbers, or maybe you like dealing with positive numbers, pick the one that you think would be an easier one to use for yourself. So I'm going to start off with the 3 for y, so that's y minus 3 equals the slope, -5/4 times x minus, in this case it's a -1, so I'm going to put that in parentheses. And so I'm going to just start, and I'm just going to take this one step at a time. I'm going to go ahead and change that negative of a negative to a positive value. Next, I'm going to distribute the -5/4. So -5/4 times x is -5/4 x, and -5/4 times x is -5/4 x. And 5/4 times x is -5/4 x, and 5/4 times x is -5/4 x. And 5/4 times x is -5/4 x, and 5/4 times x is -5/4 x. And 5/4 times x is -5/4 x, and 5/4 times x is -5/4 x. And 5/4 times x is -5/4 x, and 5/4 times x is -5/4 x. And 5/4 times x is -5/4 x, and 5/4 times x is -5/4 x. And 5/4 times x is -5/4 x, and 5/4 times x is -5/4 x. And 5/4 times x is -5/4 x, and 5/4 times x is -5/4 x. And 5/4 times x is -5/4 x, and 5/4 times x is -5/4 x. And 5/4 times x is -5/4 x, and 5/4 times x is -5/4 x. And 5/4 times x is -5/4 x, and 5/4 times x is -5/4 x. And 5/4 times x is -5/4 x, and times 1 is just going to be negative 5/4. Now I have to add 3 to both sides, and this is where remembering your fraction rules are very important. So I'll go ahead and I'm just we're going to say plus 3, because that's what we did. We added 3 to both sides. Now, I can't add negative 5/4 plus 3 without changing it to a common denominator first. However, each of you has purchased a new calculator. If you're working with a TI Nspire calculator, your calculator will actually do this without you having to convert it to a common denominator first. So you could just simply put negative 5/4 plus 3 into your calculator, and it should give you a simplified fraction. And so the final version of this equation is negative 5/4 x plus 7/4. And that's our final equation in slope-intercept form. Okay, so you can see here just one additional step of solving for the slope on your own before you can use the point-slope form.